Welcome to the Tavin podcast, y'all guys. Season 5, episode 8. It's a New Year's. My name, I'm Tavin Dillard, and this here is the Tavin Dillard podcast. It's like a radio show for your ears. If you just joined us for the very first time, this is season 5. And you know what I've been learning about podcasts? I didn't know nothing about them when I started one, except it's for your ear. It's like a radio show. It's like in olden days, in yesteryear, when somebody might gather around the radio and listen to a show of people talking. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know that I video the podcast right now too. The last 5 or 6 episodes, I think, got videoed, and this one is too. Now, I don't know in 2023 that we in now if I'm going to do it every week. I might do it just once a month, the video, just because it's for your ears, and most folks listen to this on a platform, as they say, that only makes it for your ears, you know, like the iTunes for the music or the podcast, the Spotify, that kind of thing. But we'll see. It's just like, how valuable is it to video a podcast? And I'm weighing them, things, because it take a little more work to get out there and do that. But for the most part, I mean, before a video podcast is firstly and foremostly like a radio show for your ears. And me, I'm Tavin Dillard. So I'm just letting you know what's going on in my neck of the woods here at Chancellor Park. And we had what they call a New Year's Eve. Now, I went out of town, like outside of town, to Rusty Tidwell's property. He had a big party out there, and I was there on a New Year's Eve. I wasn't there too late, but fired off some fireworks as a hoot out there. Now, my brother Brett, you know anything about him, he gets into some trouble. I'll tell you, I don't know where he's at. He didn't join that party. He wasn't invited anyway, but that don't mean nothing to him. If he hears about a party, he'll show up if he want to go. But I'll tell you this much, I know where he did not start his new year. He did not start it here in Chancellor Park. My trailer, I'm looking around, and there ain't no brother Brett here today, and he wasn't there last night, and Mima ain't seen him, so I don't know where he started his new year, but I'm sure sooner than later I will hear from him. But we had a good New Year's Eve. How about you? Did you stay up too late? Did you go to bed too early? Was you somewhere in between? Did you make all your New Year's resolutions and you jotted them down on a notepad somewhere, kind of thing? Or maybe you found last year's that you jotted down on a notepad. I don't know. But I'll tell you what we got going on here is the cold weather is kind of a nor'easter blowed in, I guess you would say. And it got cold, a little ice, some sleet, a few icicles on some rooftops, kind of thing. And early bird gets the perm, had to deal with some sleet, more on that in a little bit. And then when the lawns ain't mowing, my name's Tavin Dillard, and I got Tavin's Lawn Care Services, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. Well, it's hard to cut sleet. Let me put it to you like that. So when the lawns ain't growing like that away, I'm working at the nursing home. I've been doing that part-time through the fall and into the winter here. And then I help folks do other stuff like Imogene and Raymond Watkins. I was at their house, and this is where we starting today. Like, this is what happened this past week, since I talked to y'all last, which was basically Christmas came and went, and Imogene and Raymond, they needed Christmas decorations you'll put away, and they hired me to help them do that because they older, and you got carry all them big old Tupperware, the boxes that got them big old lids on, they big old boxes, but you put your decorations in them, and then you put the lid on, you fasten them on there, and then you move it out to the shed in the backyard, a storage shed for where you store your Christmas decorations. Is what Imogene and Raymond do. So I go into their house, and they ain't got a big house, and it's the quickest way to their backyard is through their house. And they didn't have no big old nativity set or nothing like that in their yard, but they did have little decorations on shelves in their house and that kind of thing, things they hung up on the walls, so they was getting them put away, kind of thing. And Imogene's the kind of lady that she might hire you to do something, but she don't let you just do it. She want to follow you through the house and see everything you doing, kind of thing, and talk to you and don't do all that. So she's steady on my heels. Well, I went out to the shed and kind of looked at that and said, okay, I see where this stuff's going, but all the stuff that need to go in the shed is back in their little house. So I go in there, and Raymond's kind of, walking around there. They both, the one thing they ain't packed up yet is their Christmas sweaters. Like Imogene got on this sweater, this like how sweaters are, they made of that sweater material. And she got it's like a kitty cat just drinking milk out of a bottle with a straw, and then Santa Claus is behind the kitty cat with his hands on his hips boy, that cat's eating my snack kind of thing. And then it says, this kitty's on the naughty list. That's the sweater she had. And not super festive, I guess, but it was warm. You know, and that's probably what she's going for with the weather we having, just being warm. And Raymond had on like a festive, like a winter sweater. It's more like mountains and birds in the sky, you know, kind of. I don't know what kind of birds they were. It's hard to tell what a sweater bird is, because it's like a yarn bird or whatever they make the sweater out of. So I can't really tell. I ain't a birdologist, so that's not my strength. You know, that's not what I'm good at. But they had on 2 warm sweaters, I could tell you that. And so there I am. And I say, okay, Imogene, you just need these to go, you know, to that back shed, right? She goes, yeah. So I'm walking in there, and they got one of them floor heaters. You know them floor heaters? Like, I ain't got one in my trailer, but them houses, they get real hot. Like, you drop something on a floor heater, like your Star Wars man, boy, you're going to melt his arm off kind of thing. Or you drop some jelly on there, boy, it's going to burn, and it's going to smell like that jelly, but the burned jelly kind of thing. I mean, you drop something on them floor heaters, you losing it if that heater's on. And I just got in the habit years ago, no matter what time of year, you walk around them floor heaters in people's houses, because when I was a kid, I burnt my foot on one. And you don't forget that when you burn your foot on a floor heater. So I just kind of naturally walk around it. Well, I guess Raymond seen me walking around it. I don't know what, but he goes, you ever jumped a creek? Because I guess he's basically saying, hey, you could just jump over that floor heater if you're so scared of it, but it's just habit. You know, I just walk around it like kind of thing. And I said, yeah, I can jump a creek. He goes, I used to could, but I can't no more. He goes, at this point, if they pin me against the creek, I'm going to have to turn and use my bayonet kind of thing. That's what Raymond said to me. He said if he gets pinned up against the creek's what he said, he's going to have to turn and use his bayonet. Now, the thing I know about Raymond is he'll just talk, and over the years, I learned you just go with it. Like, you ask more questions, the longer your day gets. So I just said, hey, Raymond, I assume if you got a bayonet, you might as well use it. It's the way I look at it kind of thing. You know, he nodded like that. So I make my way around that floor heater over to this Tupperware little big old box. You know, it's a box of stuff. I assume it's Christmas decorations, because that's what they hired me to do, is put away their Christmas decorations. But I ain't looked in it. It ain't my business. I don't care like what's in it. But, you know, I just got to put it away. You know, that's the big thing. Well, I go and try to lift up that Tupperware box, and that thing's too heavy for me. I'm like, what in the world? So the first thing I think of is, now I do want to look in their box. Like, they got like bronze little nativity sets or something. Like, why this thing so heavy? Well, I open that box, and there's 2 bowling balls and a few bricks and some Christmas wreaths in there. And I'm thinking, I didn't know there's, you know, bowling ball Christmas thing. So I just opened the lid, and I'm just looking at it like steady, like bank, like I ain't saying nothing about it. I'm just looking, and Imogene look in there, and then she look at Raymond like she mad at Raymond, but I'm just putting 2 and 3 together kind of thing. And Raymond's like, what are them doing in there? And he goes, well, I guess just put the lid on it, Tavin, just take it all out to the shed kind of thing. Well, Imogene's like, no, we're going to leave them bowling balls out, because we may join a league again. So now I start to smell a rat, you know, like maybe Raymond didn't want to join a bowling league, and he thought if he could hide them in the storage in that shed, and she didn't know where they was, they wasn't going to have to worry about no bowling league this year. Well, that ain't going to happen now. And when I say I smelt a rat, like, I ain't never really smelt a rat. Like, I ain't never gone like full court 100% nose on a rat to get a goodly sniff of a rat body. But what I'm saying is, and I ain't ashamed to say that I ain't sniffed a rat before, but what it means is like something's up. You know, like Raymond had a plan that Imogene didn't know about. Now everybody know about Raymond's plan, and now Raymond can't act like he don't know about his own plan, but he gonna try to go that direction for a little bit, but that ain't gonna work out the way I see it. So I said, well, I can't do this. I mean, if you want them bowling balls stored in there, I need to take a couple trips. Like, let me take them out, get this thing to the shed, then take them bowling balls out there, and then set them inside this Tupperware. She goes, oh, no, Tavin. Them bowling balls can stay right here in the house where they belong. You know, if we're going to do a bowling league this year, you know, we got to have them balls in the house so that we can take them to the bowling alley and to practice and all that kind of thing. And well, Raymond kind of, you know, now he kind of sweating a little bit and scratching his neck. You know, he ain't rolling his eyes because he don't want to let on that he hates this idea. But everybody know it by now. So I get out there, and they got plenty of room for their decorations. They ain't got really too much in that storage shed. So I find a place for that, and you know, they got a couple little shelves, a couple boxes for the shelves. So I get that put away. Not really much time at all. Well, I get back inside that house, and Imogene has got like a hot mug of Raisin Compote. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what in the world it was. I don't know when she had time to make it for me going out there. The only thing I can think is she had it like simmering low on the stove the whole time, and I just missed it. But all of a sudden she handed me that mug. And you know, when somebody hands you something, you just naturally start reaching out. And I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Well, we got here." And she goes, "Drink up," kind of thing. And it's like a brown mug with a white handle, and it says Mondays is for coffee or something like that. But it wasn't a Monday. Maybe that's why there wasn't no coffee in it. It's like this just hot raisin compote. I didn't want to drink it or eat it or nothing. I just kind of take a goodly sniff, just kind of a, boy, thank you. You know, I'm Gene. About that time, Raymond's shuffling through the kitchen at a pretty good clip, and she just yelled his name, "Raymond!" And boy, he stopped, you know, like a little bit, and boy, then he'd keep going. Like, "Oh, I didn't hear you." Like, there ain't no way he didn't hear, but he acting like he didn't hear Gene yell his name. And I look over, there's a plate of cookies, and there's one missing. So I figured what happened, you know, is Raymond seen an opportunity when she's serving me that hot raisin compote in a brown mug with a white handle that said coffees for Mondays, that he's like, "I'm going to eat this cookie," kind of thing. Mid-morning. You know, so they ain't had lunch yet. Maybe that's why she's mad. I don't know the whole reasons. You know, I didn't go into it with him, but he probably ate that cookie and inhaled that thing, like chewed it up quick, because maybe he's afraid she's gonna finger scoop it out of his mouth, like my brother Brett did when a squirrel got a hold of a payday that he left on the trailer porch. Boy, he pinched that squirrel's nose and finger scooped nougat out that thing's mouth. And I was like, boy, I bet Raymond don't want that. So, you know, he ate that thing pretty quick, because he wanted to get away with that little crime he committed, kind of thing. So that's all I know, is that Raymond's gone. Boom. You know, maybe back into the backyard just to hide them bowling balls again. I'm not sure, but there's a plate of cookies. So I took that opportunity to set my hot compote raisin mug down and just scoot out of there. So I make it toward the door, and I look at Imogene, and she look at me, and then I kind of take a quick look at that mug that I set down, and she didn't look at it. She didn't care, like I might be home free here, kind of thing. And then she say to me as I make it to the front door, "Don't you want to get paid?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's the whole reason. You know, I'm here I did a job," kind of thing. The way it goes with jobs is you get paid for them. So I sit down in that sitting room they got in the front of their house. You know, that the living room is where you kind of watch TV set and you live in there, but the sitting room's where you sit and you wait. And I sat in that sitting room, and then she come in there with her little change purse, and she opened in that little change purse, and it got change in there, but she keep bills in there. Even though it's a change purse, it ain't just for like them coins. She got bills in there. And she fiddling with that for a little bit, and then she hand me that money in my hand, and I take it, you know, kind of thing, and shove it in my pocket. I'm like, "Well, Imogene, I sure appreciate this. Happy New Year to you and Raymond, and I hope everything goes well with you figuring out the cookie mystery kind of thing and all that." And I was heading toward the door, and I was like, "Boy, she's gonna see that hot raisin compote mug that ain't got a sip taken out of it or a chew or taken out of it, whatever you do to get that stuff into your body and digest it." I don't know. I didn't want to stick around long enough to find out what I had to do to that. And I was like, "Boy, she ain't said nothing yet." I'm heading to that front door, and sure enough, I got out there, and that mug's still there. I didn't have to drink none of that raisin compote. And I've had trouble with the black nanner she served me before, and there wasn't no way out but through that nanner. But somehow today I got out there. I think Raymond did me a favor, you know, flustering her and taking the attention off that mug with his little cookie snatching. So I get to that front porch, and I'm hoping I just get back to Chancellor Park, you know, without eating it on that Sleet, on them streets, you know, kind of thing. And I eventually did make it back. But speaking of the Sleet, early bird gets the perm. They wasn't slowing down over there. I mean, the Perms must go on, kind of thing. And I don't know how or why, but Lindy Ray Mantell, she ended up with a key to Early Bird Gets the Perm. Gracie and Gracie Dilroy and her sister-in-law Delandra. Well, it's her sister Delandra. It's Chet Dilroy's sister-in-law. Y'all know them two sisters, Delandra and Gracie, run Early Bird Gets the Perm, and they gave her a key, Lindy Ray. You know, she can't be on hair duty yet, and maybe they changed that. She's just working them phones. She sweep hair. She do manicures and pedicures, but she got down there first. And I think she had instinct that, you know, she was going to fall if she wasn't careful. She got out of her car. She's still holding on to the steering wheel, and she steady like her feet start coming out from under, just sliding real slow. And she used her strength. She's a strong gal. She pulled herself back up. She's like a farm girl, you know, is what she growed up doing. But, you know, her and Cody don't live on a farm now. That's her husband, you know, Cody Mantell. And she pulled herself back up, And then she knows she's just gonna have to brave this Sleet. She the first one there, the early bird. So she let go of that steering wheel, she slammed the car door, and then she hit the ground. Boom, and she stayed there. She steady crawled on her hands and knees to the front door. Early bird gets the perm. Now, why she had a hammer at the reception desk at the early bird gets the perm, I do not know, but she went out there and she was beating that ice, that Sleet down and breaking up like a pathway to the front door. Early bird gets the perm because they got that wheelchair ramp coming up the side and they got them front steps, and they got that lawn sometimes where they do them little events. But anyhow, she got that broked up, and then sure enough, not too long, DeLondra show up. And you know anything about DeLondra, she a bit of a daredevil. Like, she the one that ran an ATV into the back of the bait and tackle last spring. She's standing up on the seat when it happened. If that tell you anything about her, like, she could take a fall, and buddy, she had to. But when she got to the early bird gets the perm, hit the ground, boom, like a newborn fawn on a frozen pond, and then she got, right on her tailbone. But she had on them puffy breeches because it's cold outside, and she had on a pretty thick jacket, and it wasn't tailbone first, it's elbows first. So thankfully that jacket took a little bit of that impact, and then she landed, boom, and then she wasn't about to get back up. DeLondra knowed, so she just rolled up to early bird gets the perm like a sausage ball through breadcrumbs, buddy. She just steady rolling, and up that wheelchair ramp, and she get up there, and then her wheels, while she was turning to get up to that front door, her wheels was turning, like thinking of how we going to get our customers in here today. Now, thankfully, Lindy Ray, she broke up some of that Sleet with that hammer, but DeLondra get in there and say, hey, Lindy Ray, get in that back room and find that tarp that we got. They had a tarp, and I don't know, I think maybe they might have had a roof leak at one point, and they used that tarp for. I think they used it for a slip and slide for somebody's birthday party on that front lawn there. Maybe Lindy Ray's little gal, Daphne. I don't remember exactly whose it was, but they got that thing, and it's got these rings on it. It ain't just your standard tarp. It's a tarp. It's got rings so you can loop a rope through it. Well, they got out there about 20 foot of rope on 2 different ropes on the different holes, them little loops that on either side of that thing, and they throwed it out there into the parking lot. Here's what happened. Tabby Jean Tipton get there. That's Meemaw's best friend. She the first customer today out there. I mean, these guys do not care. It's like perms are going to happen. We don't care about this weather. The weather ain't going to stop us. Well, DeLondra hollered at Tabby Jean. She pointed to that tarp that they thrown out, and she goes, sit down. And Tabby Jean's like, how's that? And she goes, sit down on that tarp. Well, Tabby Jean said, okay. So she pulled down that tarp under her, and she sat down on it, and she just set her purse in her lap. And buddy, I'm telling you right now, Lindy Ray Mantell and DeLondra, they steady reeling her in like a marlin through early bird gets the perm parking lot. They just pulling Tabby Jean Tipton in. Boy, they got, I'm saying 20 foot of rope on that thing, and they just like steady pulling. Like DeLondra got on gloves, so she got a good grip. Lindy Ray Mantell, she ain't got no gloves. She a workhorse. Like, she ain't never met a pickle jar she can't open kind of thing, and she pulling Tabby Jean Tipton in, and they got her up there. But I'm telling you right now, them perms did not stop. The perms went on. So, hey, there's a lot to be said. Them hard-working gals down there. And Lindy Ray, I mean, for how bad she's done with hairs, like Justine Dunlap's hair's about growed out, that bad frosting job and cut job she did back in the fall. I don't know if she's going to get another chance, but she give enough to the shop where they see some value of keeping her there, working them phones. She do fine with them manicures and pedicures, and she hauling in Tabby Jean Tipton through the parking lot on a tarp and hammering up that Sleet so folks can get to the front door. So, hey, you make yourself valuable like that, they're going to keep you around. Now, is she going to be on here? Is she going to be doing perms in 2023? I do not know. I do not know the answer to that. But I'm telling you right now, the weather ain't going to stop you if you got a mission to do. So they down there doing that. Imogene and Raymond Watkins got their Christmas decorations down already. I mean, Meemaw ain't even got all her Christmas cards sent out yet. And you got Imogene and Raymond Watkins, trees down, and the decorations are down. She probably talking about putting Valentine's decorations up already for all I know. And Raymond's probably waiting for her to make them heart-shaped cookies so he can snatch some of them up. But that's what's going on with me in my neck of the woods in Chancellor Park right now. Now, how in the world your New Year's is, I hope to hear from you. You can text me at 501-322-6249. Do it. And you can also email me, tavindillard@gmail.com. It's a whole new year, I hope to have a lot of new stuff to share with y'all soon. I may keep doing the video podcast, but it's podcast, y'all guys. It's for your ears. So it may not be videoed all year long. I'm in the middle of debating some of that. You can let me know what you think about that. If you're like, yeah, I don't need to see it to hear it kind of thing, then we may do less. I may just do it once a month. That's where I'm at on that, but I just don't know yet. You can check the link in my show notes today for all the stuff going on. I mean, I got the merch. You know, I got my Tavin's Lawn Care Services, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. That's me right there. And then we got the No Pro hoodies and Burger Shed hoodies and all that to keep you warm, so that if you hit the parking lot of Early Bird Gets the Perm or the Walmarts, you know, your elbows is a little more shielded from that impact before you do, you know, the full splat down on the parking lot. And then, I mean, if you need a plan, Lindy Ray Mantell, she did the crawl all the way to the front door. Then you got the laundress, she just rolled. You know, like she got lit on fire at the 4th of July with a Roman candle that backfired. She stopped, dropped, and rolled it all the way up to the door. So you got options. But what I'm saying is stay in touch with me, and I'll stay in touch with you. Here's the other thing. If you like this podcast, if you can leave a rating on iTunes and whatever platform you listen on, if it lets you leave a rating, do that. And you know, you can holler at me on Instagrams and TikToks. There's new videos every day. I'm trying to keep up with Facebooks and YouTubes a little better right now too. So you see new content over there. But if you could share this with somebody, leave a rating, leave a comment too. You can do that. I know on the iTunes, I don't know about all of them, but I'd love to hear from you, because that's how I know how things is going. And y'all help me promote this, because I could say all day long, hey, listen to my podcast. And they're like, sure, Tavin. But then y'all do it, and people are like, oh, somebody else other than Tavin listened to this podcast. So that's how that go. I wanted to say, listen, hey, if you ain't been fed a hot cup of Raisin Compote from Imogene Watkins this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tavin Dillard Podcast. It's like a radio show. Until next time, y'all guys, we'll see you later.